You do appreciate beauty, don't you? Well, that's good because this is the Godfather Minute. Hello, my name is Alex Robinson.
And I'm Andy Robinson.
And together we are the Godfather Minute. And it's the show where we talk about the movie The Godfather 1 minute at a time. We focus on 1 minute, we dissect it, we analyze it, we
tear it apart, we put it back together.
Yeah, we x-ray it, we
deconstruct it.
All those things. This is minute 31 of The Godfather.
31.
Minute 31, and it starts off, we're in Hollywood land, and it starts off with Hollywood big shot Jack Woltz showing Tom Hagen around his palatial estate.
Alex, do you think Jack Woltz knows how to speak Sicilian?
Sicilian? No.
I agree, but I know that you know how. E minuto.
Numero.
31. 31. That's it. It's kind of like one long.
Is it a T or a D in the middle?
A T, as in Tom Hagen.
31.
You got it.
All right.
Perfect.
Minuto numero 30.
Uno. I made it for our listeners. I just made the sign of the cross to Alex.
Yeah, I got scared because I thought there was a vampire behind me.
31.
Do you think that would work if you saw a vampire? Do you think putting your fingers into a cross is that close enough for a real cross for a vampire to thwart a vampire?
I always wondered that. As you remember, we played some D&D growing up, and it was never clear to me if you needed earthen materials or you could just hold your hand up or anything in the shape of a cross. I don't think that does it.
So you don't think holding like two, because in the movies, if someone holds two sticks together, that's enough for
oh, really?
Well, like if the guy holds the two stakes together and it's enough, that's frequently enough to.
Yeah. So, but you think 2 fingers?
I don't know.
I mean, you can really see a cross anywhere you look.
I know.
That's a picture frame and a lamp.
Well, I was reading some comic once, and somebody tried to do that, and Dracula was like snatched out of the person's hand. It was like, you have to believe in that for it to work.
Yeah,
like you have to be a Christian.
Oh boy!
So I wonder why Christians are the only ones who can thwart vampires.
Yeah, that's a good. Maybe vampires only. As opposed to Muslims, Jews, and other Wiccans.
Like Christians and vampires both drink blood.
Yeah.
So you'd think they would be like on the same team.
Yeah.
Oh well. There's no vampires in this movie. Let's talk about The Godfather minute 31.
Well, there is a connection here. What about, because don't vampires fear garlic?
That's true. The Italians are...
Maybe there's, and the Italians are deeply religious.
Right. So they have two
things going for
religious, sacred relationship.
All right. I know we haven't even gotten into many yet, but if there's one character that we've seen so far...
Who is a vampire?
Who would it be?
Well, the Don does wear that tuxedo, which is a classic Dracula thing.
Well, maybe that's why he talks like that, because his teeth are all up in his lips.
If I had to say anyone, I guess I would say I'd say Carlo.
Carlo,
yeah, because he's like a predator. He's like trying to suck off the family, and
Oh, could be.
But who would you say?
Well, I know we haven't seen Salazzo yet, but I would have.
Oh yeah, he's very vampire.
Yeah, because he sort of comes from this mysterious land. They have rumors about him.
He's good with a knife.
He's really good with a knife. He's good with his teeth.
I can't believe that's in Tom's dossier about the Turk, is that he's good with a knife.
Oh, we'll get to that. There's a little bit in the book about that.
All right, we'll save it.
Anyway, I think Sonny would be the vampire.
Oh, that's ironic, considering his name. So let's now join Tom Hagen and Jack Woltz as they roam around the estate.
Dun, 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 how's your drink? Because they're walking around the pool, the backyard.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's really beautiful, and a stark contrast to the previous scene where Woltz is chewing him out.
Oh yeah, now he's very friendly now. Yeah, because he says, "Oh, why didn't you tell me you were with the Don?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, I don't like to throw his name around." So it starts off with Jack Woltz saying, "Oh, this just used to decorate the palace of a king."
Yeah.
Like pointing out to something, and then Tom goes, "Oh yeah," like he recognizes it as, "Oh yeah, I've seen that."
Really?
And he's just like, "Oh yeah," like like
funny.
as if he recognizing it from his visit to
To Italy.
well, he doesn't say what king it was, but
Yeah, it's definitely an impressive estate.
yeah.
This is really beautiful. Well, look at this. It used to decorate the palace of a king. Oh yeah, very nice.
Is that your Tom Hagen?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's very overdubbed. It's really funny. Oh yeah, very nice.
So he says, "Why didn't you tell me you were with the Don?" He says, "I thought you were just some like cheap hood that Johnny got to come over here and try to muscle me." I love the idea of Johnny trying to like fake him out by having a fake gangster come. Is this something he's done before? Is this like a patented Johnny move that
or a move by anyone? I mean, I wonder if a man in his position frequently gets people
Ridiculous.
just trying to come and hustle him.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
It is a city full of actors.
That's true. I could see Johnny doing it because at this point, don't forget that he's not an outcast, but he knows the Godfather is mad at him for the choices he's made to divorce his first wife.
Yeah.
And so he knows he can't call on the Godfather. He's like, oh, maybe I can hire a Marlon Brando impersonator.
Right. Well, especially because everyone knows that the story with the band leader. Everyone would know that he has mob ties. So if someone showed up and they're like, "Oh, I'm not going to take a chance."
Oh, you heard that story?
Yeah, I did.
It'd actually be funny if Johnny...
I talked to Bazzini.
Yeah, woo! It'd be great if Johnny Fontaine hired a Godfather lookalike, like an impersonator, to go. It clearly wouldn't work because the Godfather himself would never go out and say, "Hey, I need you to give Johnny the picture." Or maybe that would send a stronger message because it meant so much to him. But it's clearly not the Godfather because it's hard to get someone to impersonate him.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of people who can imitate him pretty good.
No, it's really hard to do a good Marlon Brando voice.
No, now you've had your drink. The funny papers.
Is that your Tom Hagen? That's
Aw.
now you've had your drink and read the funny papers.
Now you've had your drink, read the funny papers. There wasn't enough time, Michael.
Ah, woo!
It's always good when someone, when an impressionist says the name of the person that they're doing in their impression.
Hey, it's me, Marlon Brando.
Well, Woltz, I wanted to reference that one line that you said. So Woltz says, quote, "I thought you were just some cheap 2-bit hustler. Johnny was running in trying to bluff me." There's a lot of, that sentence is loaded with vocabulary that is not what it seems to be. Well, 40s, but also
40s vernacular.
Also about tricking someone.
Yeah.
Like cheap 2-bit hustler that was running in trying to bluff me. It's like a lot of double negatives. Maybe maybe that's a good thing for Woltz. But that's great. A cheap 2-bit hustler. Do you think back then those were two
bits was-
mutually...
2 bits was a lot of money back then.
Yeah.
It was a lot of money
I'd
in
be
those
pissed
bits.
too if someone tried to hustle me out of 2 bits back then.
You know, you can get a shave and a haircut for that price.
But do you think back then cheap and 2-bit and hustler were always lumped together, or is this Waltz's usual pomp and circumstance? You know, we saw in the previous minutes where he's like,
No, I think he's
using-
good with. I think he's a good. He's very eloquent.
Yeah, he learned that in the sweatshop of his father. Remember, stringing insults together.
From your father. Did we talk? We talked about that last week,
Yeah, we talked about
or a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, about how he made his bones in his father's garment sweatshop.
Right. Well, Al Pacino Michael was banging
cheerleaders.
2 at a time.
Anyway, cheap 2-bit hustler. And then that little scenelet ends where Waltz says, "How's your drink, Tom? How's your drink, Tom?" I've been practicing my waltz, but of course I can't pull it out now. But I thought this is great. He asked him, "How's his drink?"
Yeah.
People don't do that anymore.
That's true.
And I
It's
think
common
that's a shame.
courtesies.
Yeah. How's your drink?
I also think it's funny that he has that bartender there.
Oh, yeah.
Like just out on his is that bartender there all the time?
I don't know. I didn't talk to the bartender.
Or do you think it's just because he has company coming over and he's like, Tony, go stand out there and stand at the
Probably,
pool
yeah.
bar just
Yeah.
in case when we're walking around.
Yeah, because later it's December, the bartender's still out there. Yeah, I think it's probably special occasions.
That's classy.
Yeah.
Because
Maybe they're all actors. Maybe Woltz really is broke. And because he has connections in the studio, he just has all these people.
so he's actually the one having 2-bit hustlers come in and try and trick Tom.
It's not even Jack Woltz.
Whoa. That's like Inception level.
Totally.
Yeah. So how's you finish your how's your drink?
Yeah.
And then they go into the stables
Going to the stable.
and we meet Khartoum the horse.
Khartoum.
Khartoum.
Should I reveal what I
Sure.
reveal? So just before we started recording today, I recognized that Alex had been saying that in previous episodes, but I didn't know what it was from, and I assumed it was some inside Star Wars minute joke going Khartoum. But then when I watched the minute we're analyzing, of course, it's Jack Woltz. Ta-da!
You know where I got that from? You know why that stuck in my head?
Why?
Because of our mother. She would say Khartoum, Khartoum.
Really?
It sounds so like ominous. Totally.
That's
totally.
crazy.
I wish I had mentioned that to you when you interviewed her, because
Oh
that
my
would have been a funny
gosh.
thing.
She just says it. Just
Well, she'd be like,
remembering
like
the scene.
if like she'd be like, oh, remember that scene where they're at the mansion? Khartoum, Khartoum.
Oh my
like he's
gosh.
like a magician summoning Khartoum from the grave. So it always stuck in my head. As
That's so funny. I don't remember ever doing that. I think you heard cartoon.
I mean, maybe that's why it's stuck in my head. That could be why it's stuck in my head.
No, and that's what inspired you to go into cartoons.
Totally.
That's
Yeah. I was
what
like,
I'm
how much that horse made $600,000 last year.
thinking. Well, I think you heard the other part. I'm just gonna put him out the stud.
Totally, yeah. This seems like a good job to have.
Yeah.
But speaking of Khartoum the horse, I learned a very interesting bit of trivia. This is from the annotated Godfather, the complete screenplay by Jenny Jones. I assume that's not the talk show host, Jenny
I
Jones.
thought Mario Puzo wrote it.
No, this is the I guess Jenny wrote the annotated part.
Oh, these are the sort of notes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, in 1885, General Charles Gordon, British commander of Khartoum, the capital of Sudan, was attempting to evacuate Egyptian forces from the area when rebels beheaded him.
No.
The Mahdi Muhammad Ahmed soldiers hoisted his decapitated head on a pike as a celebration of their victory.
The horse.
The
general.
the captain.
The captain.
So in that Battle of Khartoum, the captain's head was cut off and put on a spike. So I'm assuming Puzo, is that in the book?
Alex, hold on. We got to break this down.
What?
Let's break it down. What role does the name of the horse have in Don Corleone's plan?
In the universe. In the universe.
Yes,
in the Godfather
within the
universe.
Godfather universe.
All right. So I think we just need to role play this one.
Okay.
It probably went something like Tom called up the Don and was like, oh, I asked him for the thing with Johnny. He said no dice. And he's like,
Oh, it's terrible. We're gonna have to take this to the next level.
and then he's like, tell me what happened at the thing. And he's like, well, we just, then he probably asked all questions like,
Yeah.
What was the bartender's name? Oh, you didn't get it? Okay.
like, and then it was like,
What was the horse's name? Khartoum.
and then,
Tom, how was your drink?
Did he refresh it?
and then the Don's like,
Okay, hold on. Let me call you back.
he hangs up and he calls up Michael because he's a college boy. Because the Don wouldn't know anything about the history
yeah.
so he calls up Michael and he's like, well,
Michael, there's not enough time. Well, tell me something.
and he tells him, I couldn't tell him the whole story though.
No.
Because he wouldn't want Michael to know about the whole.
I'm planning on threatening this guy.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Maybe
And
just,
then
what can you tell me about Khartoum?
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, he was
Yeah.
something like that.
Wow, that's clever.
Or Tom Hagen was like, hey, because he probably went to he had to go to college too. So he's like, hey, what would be ironic is if we cut off the horse's head.
Yeah.
And then,
I feel embarrassed because I didn't see anything like that in the book, but I have to go back and research it to see if it was deliberate.
You mean if the name? Had to have been.
It had to have been.
Well,
right?
I mean, I guess it could be a crazy coincidence, but Khartoum is an unusual name for a horse.
Well, but I mean, coincidence. Did Don Corleone figure that out, and as a result, that was the fate of the horse? Or we're just saying Mario Puzo put it in there as a literary connection?
Yeah, that one.
Got
so
it.
someone
Okay.
who knew that would be like
Yeah.
a little bit of foreshadowing. Like,
Yeah,
the
got
horse
it.
is going
Yeah.
to...
Wow,
yeah, that's pretty cool, though.
Khartoum.
Khartoum. So Khartoum...
600 grand.
600 grand.
That's a lot.
Small Bill's Cage.
That's a lot of small bills cash.
I looked it up in 2015 dollars. That's the most recent conversion I was able to get. $7.9 million.
Whoa! But you know what? I don't even know. Is that expensive for a horse? It sounds expensive.
I don't even know. That's a great question.
And one that's put out to stud, not just your old,
Yeah.
2-bit nag that you're gonna race around the track a few times.
Yeah, that's a good question.
We'll put it on the next one, on the next episode. We wanted to roll out that new segment anyway. You asked, we answered. Oh no, it's we asked, we answered, right?
Yeah, totally. Well, okay, I'll write it down then for next week's episode.
Anything else about the stables?
Oh yeah, I thought it was. He specifically said, so before he said, "Oh, you used to decorate the Palace of King," and in this one he says, "Oh, I bet a Russian Tsar never paid that much for a horse like that." So, and it's especially interesting because all the first generation Hollywood moguls were all either Eastern European immigrants or the children of Eastern European immigrants.
Oh, that's interesting.
Primarily Jewish.
Yeah.
And a lot of them had to flee Russia and those areas because there was pogroms. They would periodically do these things where they would just kill all the Jews and things like that. So
that's historically accurate then.
that is historically accurate. That
No, but I mean that Woltz is referring to like used to decorate a king, and the Tsar wouldn't pay this much for a horse.
Well, I just thought that he specifically said a Tsar as a way of saying, "Look, me, a Jew who you drove out, the child of the people you drove out. Now I have a horse more valuable than than anyone you had."
Absolutely,
so I thought that was kind of a neat little twist there. So,
very cool. You start to feel bad for Woltz.
Well, it's funny because I forgot the director's name all of a sudden. Francis Ford Coppola said that you have to make your villains human for them to really. So the fact that Woltz loves this horse and he's like has pride and everything makes him more of a better villain.
Oh, that's
because
great.
they're like have more depth to him.
Yeah.
So in the quote,
although you would think that the more you got to know them, the less you would hate them.
well, he's saying
I guess
it's
it
more
depends.
believable. This is what Francis Ford Coppola wrote in his notebook. And also, he refers to Alfred Hitchcock here using a very funny name.
Okay.
Quote, Woltz must be plausible. As Hitcho said...
Oh, is that the name? Was that what they
Hitcho.
called him?
Yeah, the Lost Marks brother. Good villains make good movies. He is bigger than life, but we believe him and see that he has other areas to him. His love of Khartoum, real love. So it's, I guess it makes it more... If you're going to have an over-the-top guy like that, giving them a little bit more dimension.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
Yeah, that's about all I have for the stables portion of the show. Maybe we should go inside for some dinner.
Yeah, let's go eat. I'm hungry. Before
How's your drink?
my drink's fine.
Oh, great.
I want now that we're going to the dinner scene, I want to point out that in the last just really 2 or 3 minutes of the movie, we've seen Woltz in 3 different outfits.
That's true, because he does change for dinner, or at
changes
least
in
puts on
every
a sweater.
In every scenelit change, he
Yeah.
changes outfits. The first one, he's wearing a suit when he's at the studio.
Yeah.
It's a polka dotted suit. And
Yeah.
then when he's showing Tom around in the back, he's wearing a sweater, sort of
Like a polo sweater,
semi-casual.
yeah.
And then he dresses up for dinner in that really weird looking blue suit
that
with the
awesome, the piping, the Captain Kangaroo type.
It's so
of,
awesome, but it's just great. And so I wanted to ask you, Alex, what's the most number of quick outfit changes that you've made in a short period of time?
Oh boy,
Was there an event or
series
of events?
the unglamorous answers I've probably changed more because it's like, oh, I put on something and then it gets like colder, or like, oh no, I'm not comfortable. Like one of those days where the weather's kind of fluctuating. It's probably more just something mundane like that. But why do you have an example of? Have you ever had
I was just wondering. I observed that and I was wondering how it must be a Hollywood thing too. I mean, this guy's a a Hollywood big shot, pezzo novante. So
Well,
he's going
also
to be changing all the time to impress.
I read somewhere, I don't know whether it was in the book, maybe this is covered in the book, but or somewhere. One of the well, speaking of books, I guess I should point out also that I finished the book Omerta, the second Mario Puzo novel. And
Excellent.
so I'll be discussing that in the bonus content today on today's episode.
Oh, fantastic! No, I gotta press you on this a little bit. You mean finished it actually 100% on in your Kindle?
I'm done reading it.
You're done reading it. Okay. Oh no. Well, I want to apologize in advance to our supporters, just in case Alex drops another the Sicilian bomb, because we know what happened the last book report he had to do. Anyway, I'm excited to hear about Omerta.
So if you are interested in hearing about it, go to godfatherminute.com/support. And there you can find out how to get access to the bonus episodes. Bonus. Anyway, so apparently because Jack Woltz is the children of immigrants, he made sure that he got hired an expert to teach him how to, when you're around rich people, this is how you're supposed to behave.
Oh, yeah.
So he probably
Yeah.
learned the changing outfit things from some expert. He's like, no, you don't wear the same clothes to dinner that you wore in the stable.
Yeah.
So
And he just barely pulls it off. I mean, he kind of pulls it off.
Yeah.
You're right. That is in the book. We talked a little bit about that, how he ended up hiring a butler and a linguist
to
and all these
improve his
different
station
people.
and seem more classy. So,
A whole lot of class. Can't do a waltz. Help me do a waltz.
I can't afford to look ridiculous.
Yeah, but not too mad waltz.
Yeah.
When he's just talking. Tom, why didn't... Yeah, I gave myself singing lessons, dancing lessons, acting lessons. And just right. It's always a good go-to line. And I've had acting lessons all over the world, all over the place.
And just so you don't think I'm hard-hearted.
There you go.
Yeah.
It always takes a couple of lines to get Waltz warmed up.
Totally, yeah.
So we're in the house now.
Yes, they're sitting down to dinner together, and there's oranges at the table.
Oh, I noticed that too.
Which I think we have discussed that, right? That oranges are the sign of impending doom.
Impending doom. Khartoum.
Yeah, because the what are the other oranges scenes? We know when the Don dies, he has the orange slice in his mouth.
Well, Tessio is throwing one up in the air in the wedding scene, but no one dies then. So.
But Tessio does die eventually.
That's true.
So.
Maybe that's...
So we'll have to keep our eye. Maybe we don't want to make sure this isn't like a Wizard of Oz thing where we're only noticing the hits.
Yeah,
so far we have one. We have one appearance of oranges. No one died from it.
Yeah.
Now there's a second appearance of oranges.
Well, yeah, that's true.
And so we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Yeah. You'll have to tune in about 2 minutes or so.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Khartoum.
So we get a little bit of Tom discussing the Godfather, like what it means to somebody.
Yeah, there's a little bit of an exchange here.
Yeah, it's very close. It's a sacred relationship.
Sacred, very close relationship. I want to point out some points in the book about this. But first, I want to say there's been some postings in our social media outlets.
Are you talking about the Fredo Corleone's Mickey Mouse nightclub on Facebook?
I am, and it looked like recently people posted something that suggested that this little segment we have in our podcast, that we were saying the book is better than the movie, because someone was pressing back and saying, "Oh, The Godfather is such a great movie. How can you say that the book is better?" And they didn't use those words, but that's the message I got from it.
That was the tone you got.
It was the tone, yeah. They actually said, "Hey, great podcast, guys." But I really want to point out that when Alex and I started this, we just wanted to point out the differences in the book and the movie. We are not saying that it is better. We're not saying the book is better or the movie's better. It's just
better or greater than the book as a thing or whatever it is.
We just thought it'd be really interesting to point out the differences.
Yeah. So,
although in most cases, now that we're talking a little bit about this, in most cases, people will argue a book is better.
Yeah.
I think overall, maybe the movie probably is better. And it's one of the best movies in in history, right?
Well, I think I've always heard that the book is the movie is classier. The book is a bit more, you got all that stuff about her giant vagina, and like it's a lot more gritty and earthy. And
Sonny's a vampire in the book. It's not believable.
Sonny is a vampire. So
Johnny hires the Don Corleone impersonator to fool Woltz. Woltz isn't even Woltz. It's two impersonators going at it.
no one is really the actual.
But I just wanted to throw that out there.
So you're saying the book is better than the movie?
If we were saying that would be reflected in the lyrics of the jingle.
Yeah.
But as you'll hear in the lyrics of the jingle,
The book is different than the movie. The book is different than the movie. The book is different. The book is different. The book is different than the movie. Yeah.
on page 60, Mario Puzo goes into a little bit more about the Godfather relationship. And he says it's a sacred religious relationship. Puzo writes, quote, Italians have a little joke that the world is so hard a man must have two fathers to look after him, and that's why they have godfathers. And end quote. And he goes on to write that since Johnny Fontaine's father died, the godfather feels even more responsible to look after Johnny. That's why he really has this caring relationship for Johnny.
Yeah. And from what I understand, I don't know if this is mentioned in the book, but Johnny used to invite the Don over for Sanka all the time.
All the time. He knew that was the way to
the Don's
the
heart.
way to the Don's heart.
I was kind of surprised that Tom didn't mention that to Woltz in the... maybe that's more of a behind closed doors
What,
kind
the
of thing.
coffee?
Yeah, that he didn't say, yes, you're expected to invite the Don over for coffee, but maybe that's only for like insiders, you know?
Maybe, yeah. Oh, I wonder if...
Never tell anyone outside the family what kind of coffee you like.
Keep your coffee close, keep your Sanka closer. Because you prefer Sanka.
Steady drip.
I wonder if Woltz had gone to Connie's wedding and he had snuck in and kind of if he had appeared to be invited and then he said, "Oh, Godfather, I'm going to ask you to take care of my union. I'm asking you on your daughter's wedding day to take care of my union problems and not ask me to put Johnny in that picture."
Yeah, he gets there. He gets cuts in the line right before Johnny, and he's like, "My big favor is it's going to be a lot of pressure on me to cast someone in this movie, and I don't want to do it. Do I have your blessings to not?"
Of course you do, Jack. You've had me over many times.
Yeah. And then right then you hear, "Johnny!" Yeah! And just Waltz is like, "Yeah.
I ain't no band leader."
I'm going to get you for this waltz.
Khartoum.
Whenever Waltz wants to put a period at the end of the scene or his statement, he's always like, "Yeah, I ain't no band leader." So sorry, I did a little flashback there, but I thought it was appropriate,
good.
right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
I don't think
totally.
Waltz would ever get invited to Connie's wedding, although if someone were invited to Connie's wedding, could they bring a +1? And could that +1 be a Waltz?
And does that +1 get a favor?
Oh, yeah. I don't think so. It depends who it is.
So you think like if you knew you were going to the Don's wedding and you're like, well, I know he gives it a favor to somebody, and you could basically like auction off your +1. You're like, hey, anyone who wants a favor from the Godfather,
man.
pony up and you'll get whatever you want.
It's on StubHub and one of those ticket
It's
sites.
like two hipsters show up like, hey man, we bought these secondhand. You guy giving out favors? So no one at the wedding is an actual invited guest. Everyone is there from StubHub.
So what? One more hypothetical.
Okay, yes.
So Johnny is invited to the wedding. What if he invites?
We assume, Johnny was
Johnny was invited.
Yeah,
So
the
what
Don
if
even said
he? What if Johnny invites the Waltz's up and coming actress that Johnny had ruined as his date?
Yeah.
And so Waltz finds out that she's invited to the wedding, and then Waltz says, "Hey, listen, little girl, you're inviting me as your guest." And so then her +1 is Waltz.
And then he
sneaks in and asks the favor.
right.
So
Totally.
Like it's kind of a chain of +1s. I don't know if that
Can
would fly.
you can you undo someone else's Like could your request be to not do one of the previous? Can you take back?
Yeah, I guess you can.
You don't waste
Because
your
the
favor.
Godfather hasn't put anyone on that particular job yet, so it's all still just requests at that point. They haven't been locked in.
So do you think it has to do with the relationship with the person? Like, is it like obviously if Michael came in asking for a favor, that would supersede any of the other people. But
You're suggesting it has to do with relationship priority rather than sequential chronological.
yeah, exactly.
Order
Or
of
is it
events.
strictly chronological?
Oh boy.
I mean, you're already doing dumb things like saying you can't refuse something on your daughter's wedding day. It might as well be chronological for all the difference it makes.
I think at the end of the wedding day, Tom Hagen and Don Corleone get together. They write their list, and then they put next to it a little cup of coffee icon. Or how many cups of coffee that person.
He rates everyone on a scale of 1 to 5 cups of coffee.
Sanka, and then that's the prioritization list.
Okay, that makes sense.
And that's why
Yeah.
Johnny gets the picture because he's 1 or 2 above Waltz.
What if you showed up at the wedding with coffee?
Oh,
I can't believe we spent 30 weeks talking about the wedding, and now we're going back to talking about the.
it is a great scene.
It is a great scene. Should we go back to it? I think? Let's start over. Well, so the minute ends with Jack Woltz saying that this is one favor he cannot do.
He can't do it.
Cannot let Johnny have that picture. I wonder why, do you think?
Well, there's a little bit in the book about that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. In the book, Walt says no right away. And Hagen then wonders, Hagen's wondering, why did Waltz even invite him to dinner? And why is he kind of teasing him along? And, you're wondering why he says no?
Yeah, why he says no.
I think we're going to see next minute, right?
Well, I don't know. Do they reveal that in the next minute?
They do reveal that in the
I
next.
thought they would save that for the very end of the movie, like a big reveal. Yeah.
I think no, they save it for Godfather 3.
Oh, so they're sort of like it's like the General Zod at the beginning of Superman.
Yes.
Like they just do this little thing that you're going to forget about, and then in the second movie, you're like, they never did explain why he didn't want Johnny in that picture.
Waltz is 95 years old. He's like, I gave her dancing lessons and singing lessons.
Am I a band leader? He's all confused. He doesn't know what he is.
Am I a band leader? Where's Khartoum?
Oh, no, ain't I a band leader? It's all like switched. It's twist.
But I did want to point out this,
Yes.
that in the book, Walt says no right away, and Hagen starts wondering, why did this Walt's character
this
bring me
guy?
all the way out here? Why am I having dinner with him and all that? Walt says, quote, the answer is still no, but what will it cost to have that labor trouble cleared up in cash right now? So Waltz is taking seriously the
He wants to work. He wants to help. He wants to cooperate.
Well, he just wants to make his labor problems go away, and so
But
because Tom had threatened that earlier.
Yeah, but he
Actually hadn't threatened that. He has made no threats.
That's true.
I'm setting you up for that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot the exact wording. But he does want to work with the Don. I feel like because he knows the Don is a powerful guy,
Yes.
so it's certainly a good alliance to have. So if he can do something to work with him,
That's true, because in the scene he says this is one favor I can't grant.
Yeah,
Doesn't he say anything else?
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
All right.
So. I guess that'll wrap up minute 31. You got anything else you want to say?
I'd like to do our
Cannoli countdown.
Guns and cannoli. Won't be seeing Polly no more.
Paulie betrayed me, he got a cold and then didn't show up to work. I thought Paulie was a good kid, but it turned out he was the stupid jerk. I'm talking about a countdown.
Guns and cannoli. You won't be seeing Polly no more.
You gotta leave the gun to send a clear message, or else you might lose your life. And whatever you do, take that cannoli. Don't upset Clemenza's wife. We're working on a countdown, counting down.
Guns and cannoli. You won't be seeing Polly no more.
How many minutes left? How many minutes left? We're doing the countdown. How many minutes left? How many minutes left, consigliere? How many minutes left?
Alex, you want to take a guess? How many minutes left?
Come on, Santino.
Oh boy, this is how many minutes until Clemenza says, "Leave the gun,
Yeah,
take the
take the
cannoli."
cannoli.
Not when he says, "Oh, we have to pick up some cannoli."
Correct.
Okay,
I think it's the.
I'm gonna say 27 weeks.
You're close.
What?
28 more weeks.
Oh, I missed it
You're
by that
off
much.
one. 28.
But under Price is Right rules, I do get it because I was under it.
That's true.
So
Yeah, you got it.
What do I win?
You win. You get to ride Khartoum once around the track.
Khartoum.
But I'm going to warn you, he's put out the stud.
Oh.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean it like that. Actually, I did. I do have one more point.
What?
Do you remember?
Oh, then we gotta rate it too. We gotta rate
You
it.
got to rate it. In episode 27, so 4 episodes ago.
It's like weeks ago.
Well, we asked and we answered. Well, we asked and we're going to answer now. Was Marlon Brando wearing a wig?
To the best of my knowledge, best of my research, he is not. He is not wearing a wig. There's
Interesting.
nothing indicating that he was wearing a wig
Okay.
or a toupee or anything
Yeah,
like that.
okay.
So, although I did learn a funny fact about Marlon Brando wearing a wig. Have you seen the movie The Island of Dr. Moreau?
Yes.
He wears a wig in that. And apparently when he was getting made up and stuff, the wig person was like, "Look, Mr. Brando, here's your wig." And he took it and he put it on like upside down. He put it on with the cap part, like the hair hanging down with the bald cap on top.
What, did he go to college to get stupid?
And he's like, this is how I'm going to wear it. And that's how he wore it in the movie.
Did he know he was wearing it
Yeah,
upside
he
down?
totally knew he was
Wow,
wearing
he
it
literally
upside-
flipped the wig.
flipped his wig.
That's crazy. And the director, I guess, I'm remembering now. They because Brando was the big star, they really just let him do whatever he wanted.
Do
right?
whatever he wanted. And it totally works with that, because that movie
yeah.
is fascinating.
It is.
So yeah, if you're a fan of weird movies, check it out. It's not good, but it's definitely interesting.
Yeah.
And Brando is surreal.
He's just crazy.
yeah,
Right?
that little person.
The
he had,
Mini-Me.
that-
They say that
yeah.
was the inspiration for Mini-Me.
Oh, was that the
I
inspiration?
think so. Yeah.
I want a little Don Corleone next to me.
Little
For
Donnie
the son I
Corleone.
never had, the son who I always wanted to take over the family business.
Oh, afraid he'll get stepped over again.
Oh, yeah, by that little guy.
All right, so we're going to be reconvening in the bonus content. So
what are we going to talk about in the bonus content?
Omerta.
Okay, I'm looking forward to your book review. And we're going to have the listeners give you a grade on
Oh, we got to
it.
rate the minute. We forgot to rate the
we
minute.
gotta
Oh,
rate
we
the
almost
minutes.
closed it out. Whoa, that was close.
Wow.
You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
I will go first. They're walking around the pool. There's some interesting little dialogue. Khartoum. And then they come back. It's leading up to the
Calm before the storm.
calm before the storm. Oh boy, it's really a 3.5, but I guess I'll say 3.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
3. They can't all be 4s
I
and
know.
5s.
It's
so-
Woltz.
I know.
Every word that Woltz says is so fantastic.
But still, by the Waltz standards, this one is fairly
That's true.
tame. He doesn't go on any real racist tirades,
Yeah.
or he's pretty calm. in
Cheap
this one.
2-bit hustler.
Yeah, that line's good. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, so we give it 3 then.
we're giving it 3.
All right, so that'll wrap up this episode.
Yeah.
Then. So
Stick around for the bonus content.
if you're if you're one of those people. Otherwise, you can go to the Fredo Corleone's Mickey Mouse Nightclub on Facebook, and you can also just follow us in general on Facebook, and you can follow us on Twitter at Godfather Minute. And so so until then, take the gun and leave the cannoli.